How do we counter our entrancement with technology, and why is this important for the future of our planet? Thomas Berry was a theologian who referred to himself as an ecologian. Berry wrote about how humans encounter God most primarily through our relationship with the natural world, with the earth. And Berry prophetically foresaw humans' entrancement with technology and how this would lead us into a technozoic era that is defined by technology's seeming place as the center of our being and existence in so many ways. The expense of this technozoic era is a severance of our relationship with our biology. And this is problematic because humans are the biosphere conscious of itself. We are the world, we are nature, able to express itself, able to shake its own hand, able to hug itself, able to hit itself, and able to forgive itself and work towards healing and wholeness of itself for that matter. So when we sever our connection with the natural world in this way, we sever our sense of relationship with the sacred in the natural world. And for that matter, we sever our sense of relationship of the sacred within our own selves as well, because like I just said, we are expressions of the natural world. We are the natural world. So how do we get through beyond this entrancement that is and can be destructive? And I'm not here to argue about technology being bad in and of itself, because it's not, right? It allows us to connect in deeper ways possible than we ever thought. It allows us to explore our biology and enhance our biology in ways that we never dreamed. And it certainly allows us deeper appreciation of the natural world. But when we have a phenomenon as trite as doom scrolling, right, where do we choose to move into a direction of conscious union rather than just infinite complexity and divergence? For Berry, this was the evolution of our consciousness out of the Technozoic and beyond the Technozoic into what he calls the Ecozoic, whereby our relationship with our world and our ecology becomes central to our being and to all our systems. Because again, it is through the world that we encounter the divine, and therefore it is not just our own sense of the divine in the world that we are discovering, but it's also the sense of the divine in us that we encounter through this process. Right? So in the Ecozoic, it's a shift from technology being the center of things to our ecology being the center of our systems, political, economic, medical, food, religious, right? You just go down the list and all of these things start to orient themselves towards a common point of union. And for Berry, that's our planet, because that's where we come from, that's what we are, and that's what we can become conscious co-creators of in our evolution forward. So how do we do this? How do we shift ourselves beyond the Technozoic? How do we break beyond the trance of technology? And how do we enter a more holistic and integrated phase and era of evolution in the Ecozoic, whereby we reverence the sacredness of the world and the sacredness of our own being within it and the work that we have to do? I mean, this isn't to say that we should quit our jobs in banking and finance and all become regenerative farmers. That's not too practical, nor is it sustainable. I mean, there's a pretty steep learning curve to farming, but maybe it's as simple as making some small changes that I don't even do on the daily, but it's like just in thinking, maybe it's like instead of reaching for your phone to start your day and stare at a screen, maybe it's laying in the still silence of the morning and taking a few very first conscious breaths of the day. Maybe it's stopping to smell the roses, literally. Maybe it's buying your produce from a local farmer's market where you can put a name and a face to the hands whose sweat, equity, and labor went into this food that you'll consume, as opposed to buying it from a big box grocery store. These are all small ways that we contribute to the evolution of consciousness, but in this case, it's a matter of survival, right? It's a matter of surviving beyond the pitfalls of being pulled into the existential bottoming out of the Technozoic and evolving to something more integrated, something more holistic in the Ecozoic, where probably those technological remnants will be with us to aid in our further integration of our relationship with the planet. How do you usher in the Ecozoic? How do you break out of and evolve past the entrancement of technology?